What's up, everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of the Kyber Council. I am your host, Fatal, aka The Playbook, and here alongside me, sounding fresh with the hot new sounds, we have, as always, the co-host, Keenan. How's it going, man? Yeah, we've got it feels like there's a theme for today's episode, some kind of running pattern or trend. If there was, I don't think I'm allowed to say it. But we've got a very awesome panel of guests for this evening. And we're making some Discord lore history. Here in the flesh for the first time here is Blade. How's it going, man?
Hey, guys. Good, and you?
Doing pretty alright. You have any, I don't know, do you have like any socials or anything you want to plug, shout out?
Not really, no.
Yeah. You'll find him on Discord. He's everywhere. You'll always find him.
Yes.
Yeah, moving right along, we have the man who bought low on Scoundrels and is now ready to cash out. His time has come. We've got Clash. How's it going, man?
How's it going, everyone? Good to be here. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Scoundrels for life.
Absolutely. It's your time has come, finally.
Well, I mean, listen, once we get like Galactic Legend Scoundrel, then we can talk. Until then, we know we're a scrappy B team, but you know what? At least we got a little bit better this last couple weeks, so I'm happy.
I think we're headed that way. I mean, all signs point to we might be headed that way.
Fingers crossed.
Maybe. We'll see. That K2 gonna pay off. Ian.
Yes.
How's it going, man? Good to have you back.
What's going on, man? It's been how long? Like a few weeks or so? Maybe like a month. I was here for the first one. It was a lot of fun. Sometimes I can't make it, but I am glad to make it here today on Friday. I am kind of pumped for today, the mods. It's going to be a really good stream. And we got like so many awesome people here. It's going to be awesome. I'm really pumped. Thanks for having me.
We do have, whatever I'll say it. It is the Fight Club cast. There, I said it. Shoot me, kill me. I broke the rule.
Just a guild reunion, basically. That's all.
And last but definitely not least, we have another face reveal, actually. We have Sendow. How's it going, man?
Hey, how you doing? Glad to have me.
Yeah. Yeah, guys, it's going to be a great episode. A little bit of housekeeping at the start here. We are of course, doing a Q&A at the end. So over the course of this episode, if you guys have any absolute bangers you want to ask, go ahead and get those rolling now. I will pick you up over the course of this episode, and we'll get things moving later on. So, yeah, let's move right into it. Today, we're going to be talking a lot about mods, all things mod-related. You know, we've got the new 60 systems, we've got remods, we've got general techniques. I guess, just to set the stage a little bit before we get going, mods being what they are, we do have the idea to do a little bit of a compare, just give you all an idea of what we're all working with here. Yeah, we'll catch up on the stream here in a second. We've got some pretty good depth all around. I don't know if we're doing like a size measurement thing. I don't know if that's what this has to be. But I mean, it just gives the people a good general understanding of what we're working with here. And yeah, mods are all about consistent work over time, and hopefully people can appreciate the total work that I think has gone into all of our mod collections here. And yeah, I think just there you go. There's your spread. If you're wondering who the heck we are and why we're talking about mods, I think this would mean you could trust us. I want to believe.
You can find this stuff on Clash on Fatal's Discord later on as well. I can post it there.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think it's about time. Let's move on into the topics. Take it away, Ken.
All right. Well, there's 4 topics for today. As Fatal said, they're all about us. The last topic is going to be about which GAC team we spend the most time modding and why and what we mod them for. Third topic will be what's our most desired specialty mod. I think Ian has an idea there. Topic number 2 is about slicing priorities. What are we doing first for the 6 D, C, B, A mods? And the first topic we'll start out here is how do we acquire and manage our mods? Like how much energy do we put towards them? Do we slice once a week? Do we farm once a week? Whatever. It's an open question. And I'll start alphabetically here with Blade. What do you do with your mods? How do you get them? What's your strategy?
Usually over the weekdays, I'll tend to just mod farm like CD. Depends on how I feel, like CD mods or critical chance mods, whatever I need. I'll do that over the weekday. And if I find really, really good mods, I'll try to refresh for potential good slices. Otherwise, I hold slices until weekends. I wait until weekends to do specifically slicing mods, farm using the energy for those materials.
Sort of like between, like when we're in GAC season, at least, do you do it between GAC rounds or do you do it just on the weekend regardless?
It might depend. I'll do it over for GAC. I'll tend to do it in between too. Otherwise, it's usually on the weekend if it's no GAC going on.
Cool. How about the other guys? Like personally, I do something similar. I'll usually farm slicing materials for a week and buy mods in the shop whenever I see something with 5 speed or some secondaries I want. And then the next week, I'll farm mods, and each day I slice them up as I go along, basically. But after a week of farming slicing materials.
Okay, yeah. I just do it specifically weekdays, and then weekends is mod slicing materials, unless if it's like a GAC going on, or if I need to rush for like territory war or something.
Cool. Anybody else? What do you guys clash?
Yeah,
What's your strategy?
I'll chime in. I used to do like a very specific regimented daily, like Mondays and Tuesdays I'm farming, crit chance, and Wednesday, Thursdays I'm crit damage, and I was rotating around and doing, and I felt that was a little bit too manic. So I really have I do 2 main things. One is I farm for a whole week, just whatever the things I feel like I'm needing most with new characters, things like that. So recently it's been speed. Before it was maybe offense or crit damage, but I'll do that. All I'll use my energy for on that, and maybe a couple refreshes for the actual mods are for that. And then for 3 weeks straight, I will farm nothing but the slicing materials. I felt like I was actually either having too many mods and I was hitting my mod inventory too quickly. If I did less than that, sort of a 3-to-1, actual slicing material to the actual mods. And so 3 weeks of slicing, and then like for like 2 or 3 days in there, I'll actually just whittle down all of my inventory that I got from that 1 week of farming to the ones that really rolled the best that I could possibly get. The only thing I get out of the actual shop are things that I might be looking that are very character specific. Like I'm just waiting for the right offense cross, or I'm waiting for the right crit avoidance arrow, something like that. I really I try not to spend any resources on mods that just look good. I always try to spend them on ones that I know are specifically what I'm trying to get to with a specific character. So that's how I've been doing it, and it's freed up a lot of my time as of late.
Yeah, that's a good one. Actually, I do find myself sometimes, I think Blade said he did the same thing, spending 15 crystals to refresh the mod shop if I'm looking for some specific, like a 0 speed offense health secondary cross or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because ever since they introduced the mod slicing materials for 6 BDCA, whatever, in the Galactic Challenges, I don't know if anybody else has noticed, but the purple and gold mods are showing up approximately only after a few hundred checks, but they're almost double what they were before the GC mod slicing introduction. So you have a pretty good chance at getting, well, you don't have a good chance of getting a good mod, but you have a lot more purchasable mods after Galactic Challenges.
Sendow,
All right.
any hot takes or?
So, me?
Yeah.
So for me, up until now, I've been slicing all of my 14 plus speed to 6E and basically done 0 farming, and all of my mats go to farming 6E materials, and then all of the GAC winnings go into the 6E material farming too. So with all of that, like, I've been able to boost all of my 6E materials and my 6E mods. And I'm just about, I think I'm around like 400, and I'm getting to the point where like every character that I want has a 6E mod, and I'm leaving out like the slower protection, like lower, less ideal primary mods. And now I'm going to, after we talked about the recent speed mods, and I'm lacking, if you flash the screen again, you can see I have 28 versus the rest of everyone else who has like 40 plus, 20 plus speed mods. And I'm trying to catch up on that. But like, my depth is pretty good overall. In general, I've just been working toward getting high speed mods now. So I will farm all my speed mods right now and slice them up every single day, because my mod inventory is not great. I run out of space every single day. So I don't know a management way to do that other than like get rid of all of my other mods that aren't really on people. But right now my major issue is credits. I don't have credits to buy any. I don't have credits to slice any. That's
No, just get rid of, gotta purge, man. You gotta come to the mod god and say, here is my offering of all of these mods that I would maybe use one day, and I'm probably never gonna, and it's gonna hurt, but I'm gonna clear up so much of my inventory, and then you can have a more regimented schedule on how you're farming out your speeds after that.
But the second you do that, they're gonna have a need for that defense accuracy primary arrow.
How many years you been saying that?
I keep saying that every year.
You keep saying, hey, I agree. And when that happens, I'm gonna be like, damn it, Sendow was right. I gotta go back and farm accuracy now.
It does make it a lot more relaxing though. About 7-8 months ago, I sold in one day about like 15 million credits worth of mods off a bunch of characters, and ever since then, it's so much easier to manage what's going on.
Yep.
I don't know, man.
All right,
CG cut for the anniversary gift, CG cut the credits down from 1 million down to 500K, and I'm like so credit broke the whole time. I think I was the only person who was actually a little bit salty about that. Of like, I've got nothing, man. I'm like actively having to sell mods for remods for like TW on some days. It's rough. It actually might be because I've like almost all my mod farming now. I don't farm slicing mats anymore. I only did it for the double drop gauntlet that we just got, and that was like insane. I had like 400 of the first stuff and 200 of the second stuff. But I don't know. It feels like now that we've got like enough depth, for the most part, I'm not trying to like hit those anymore. I've mostly just been trying to farm like some really, really sick mods, and then just like whatever the best mod that I haven't touched yet at the time, I just let those natural, resources from the Scoundrel event and all that come in, and I don't know. Like
there's a very different experience for someone that's has the mod inventory you do, where they're polishing, like small things, to someone that's sort of building their foundation, because, like foundationally, I think the resources you put into the slicing 400 slicing materials on those gray and like, whatever the green ones are, that can go really, really quickly, especially if you're being diligent about selling one of the ones that don't matter.
Yeah.
You can go through that pretty quick.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Just for whatever reason now, farming mods feels OP to me, and I never farm slicing mats anymore.
Feels OP. Whatever, get out of here.
Yeah, okay.
I just like having the gold on all 6 spots of the mod inventory. Go ahead, Ian. Sorry.
I was just I was really wanting to listen. I want to talk very last because like I've never really been super hardcore about mods up until like I'd say maybe like a year or so ago, like when I was first joining a Fight Club. And I'm not sure what your guys' is like total of 6E mods is, but I think mine is 177, which is very, very low for me, I think. But I have like a lot of 15 pluses, and my way of farming and I guess slicing and whatnot, I pick a character that I want to work on. And at the moment, it's been some more GR, it's been some more bounty hunters. So I've been farming a lot more health based stuff. And when I go into the health ones, when I'm slicing and doing all my refreshes, I usually just do the 50s. But when I'm farming other characters, slowly, like Piet or whatever, right now, I can actually go further and do the hundreds. But like I never before like this past year, I never even really hit all the 50s, and that's been really, really annoying to like see other people around my GP that have way more mods than me because I was just so bad at it before. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that are like that, and they just really don't even think about refreshing the mods and looking for these really good mods. But at the moment, I like to go for just a lot of speed ones like I've normally been, but Clash has kind of turned me to the side of the defense percent. So I've been farming a lot more defense percent for the health
Yeah, baby.
sets and the defense sets. So I got a really good set on my Barris right now. I got Heroic 5, and I'm going to, I think, I really want to build more of those, but I also want to build some defense ones for like an L3 and some more tanks because my tanks suck so bad, especially my pre-taunts. I want to build up really good pre-taunts, and those are the two sets I want to build. So yeah, that's
Good.
just my kind of thinking right there.
Yeah, I get
Yes, of
frustrated
course.
when I get matched up against people in GAC where I have more 15 pluses, but then they have like twice or 3 times the amount of 20 pluses. I'm like, how's this happening?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's actually a perfect segue into the next topic here, which is around the prioritization for 6E to 6D, C, B, and A. Obviously, I think many people will, especially Fatal, as we can see by those numbers, really prioritizes the speed and just going for speed. Clash, I don't know, maybe you can start us out here. What's your prioritization? How do you handle the 6E and above slicing?
Okay, there's 4 things you got to think about. 4 things. First one, easy, simple. I know, it's like, all right, guys.
You can use the whiteboard if you want. That's
I'm
fine.
gonna like write it out. Yeah, exactly. No, okay. So I try to make things simple for me because, as you know, my campaign slogan is that gear is for show, mods are for dough. Mods are what can really make or break, your experience in the game competitively. And I mean, I say this, I'm not competitive. Like, I'm the only one out of here in this group, I think, that's actually not in the Kyber Council, but in the Erodium Advisory. So let's just, put that framework aside. First thing you want to do is think about your 4, like, sort of those. They've gotten to the 3 slices, and they got 20 to 24 speed. If you have those in there, that have really good secondary stats and can bump you over 25. I don't know what it is, but I've seen a lot more people feel like they got really good RNG on that first roll where they're hitting speed versus the other things, and getting to that 5th or the sort of 4th roll on them, right, where it shows a little 5 next to it. You want to prioritize a couple of those that are out there if you haven't already. The second thing, this is only for people that have legacy mods like I do, and maybe a couple others, but the ones that have percent, right, the ones that have like offense percent squares with an offense percent secondary, there's not very many of them out there, but if you have those and they're actually pretty good with the other stats, I like those as well. The third thing are what I call the purely perfect sets. These are like every single secondary is exactly right, and the mod set is exactly right, even if it's not a 20 plus speed or anything like that. If it's got the right stats and just further developing it will make your character even better. That's the third thing I would look for. The fourth thing is very character specific. So things like, for Vader or Chewbacca, right, where I've got, health percents, and getting my ATP down below 1.5 would be really, really nice. Those are the sort of last line where I'm going through some of those now. So 4 things you need to remember.
That's awesome, man. People are gonna have to stop by your Discord and look for that list.
Like I've created, it's right here. Here you go. We just made it.
Man, that was... Yeah, I mean, for me, I did like 1 synergy slice and then just got paranoid after the first week that I was going to fall behind on 6 D3A like speed hunters. And so I just decided to go for that and got stupidly lucky. So now I'm back on the synergy train because I already kind of got all of the speed I need now. Like, kind of obscene. But yeah, I mean, I think
It's very obscene.
Yeah, I see your Master Luke in Arena, dude. I don't. That's crazy. Your speed set that I've seen on him is just insane. I don't know. I don't know how you do it, man. How do you get that lucky? I don't get it.
dude, I
I've
used to
seen
get
his mods.
I used
I've
to
seen
get
his
so
mods.
salty at people who had like ridiculous like top end mod depth, and I was like, man, if I had that like those types of mods, man, I would like do so much with it. And now that I have it, I'm just like, I hate remodding now, man. I don't want to have to make these choices. Life was just so much simpler before. But man, it's pure luck. I wish I could say like, yeah, my modding technique will really get you. Like, no, I don't know. I just got dumb lucky. I had like 50% speed slice rate for a good chunk of time there. 13 plus 25 speed mods is light work, says Oily Sniper. I'm at 19 plus 24s. So I'm there. I'm in the ballpark.
Yeah, and on the other hand, it looks like Blade and I have the same sort of approach here in terms of our numbers. I've given up on the top end speeds. I don't really care about going for a bunch of 25 plus speed mods. I aim more. I'm happy with the 15 speed and the 20 speeds. And my slicing priorities is really, I do one mod for speed and then one mod that has great stats. But I'm happy to hit any 3, for instance, of the secondaries. Pretty easy for me.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Blade, Sendow, Eden, anybody wants to add
Okay,
something to
I
this?
mean,
So
yeah. Go ahead, Blade.
okay, so the mods that I've been focusing on were it's Vader mods. I've been focused totally on Vader because pretty much all of his mods, whatever secondaries he has, I'm not going to be upset with the roll. So if I don't get speed, so what? He's going to get offense percent or potency or CC, whatever he needs. He's going to get that. And it's going to help him because he's basically my GL killer. He'll kill every single GL. Doesn't matter which. It might matter to comp, but he'll typically kill any GL. So I want to make sure his mods are fully optimized for killing GL. So I'll focus on his. I've been focusing 60 through 6A, whatever, totally on Vader. Now I've just finished Vader because if I add any more speed, it's going to be rough for my other characters in the team. It's going to be way too mod intensive. So I've gone to like Gas now because he's like Vader. His secondaries are great. I won't be upset with whatever is rolled.
Cool. I'll have to check out your Vader.
His Vader's legit. It is very legit. I was going to talk about mine. I was going to do a Vader one, but I like my Vader as is, honestly. I think he's a good place with his modding with killing the GLs. But I was actually going so hard onto my Han Solo. I have 3 golden. What is that? Is that a 6 is that 6A? Is that like the golden, like the very
6A.
last? Yeah, I got 3 of those on my Han now. And those were only the speed with offense percent with whatever the primary I wanted was, and I had a lot to choose from. So I went for my first one being a diamond that had I think it was like 4 or 5 speed, like just no rolling on the speed, but the offense percent was super high. And I think the highest you can get for offense percent secondary, like max rolls, is like around I think it's like 8.2 or something, maybe higher. I forget, but mine hit 7.92, and then I had some extra speed added on. It's like my favorite mod. And then I'm like, well, I got this crazy mod. I'm going to keep going on because that was a CD set. I'm going to keep going on my CD sets because these are great for attackers. You want these for attackers. So then I went on to getting a health percent circle that had a really good offense percent, and it hit on speed as well. So it's a good mod. And then I'm like, why not? Let's go for some more Han. And now I got some HP ones that had some nice offense percent, CD triangles, and some speed. But now I got kind of that sorted out. I want to go to some speed ones and kind of build up like what Fatal did and just build up some really, really fast sets, because now with Moff Gideon and some really other fast characters you want with some high speed, I want to build up a really, really strong set for speed. And I tried that by just barely last night because of the new GC, and I tried it on my Bastila, and it had like a 23 for 4 rolls. I was hoping to get 29. Nothing. I was so sad. But I want to build up more of those speed ones now because I think that's really, really important for a lot of these characters now in the game.
Yeah, for me,
Yeah.
all I'm doing is just prioritizing speed. Anything with speed is trying to get to either 20 or 25. and I'm trying to get the top end speed. And the speed set specifically is always more ideal to slice because they can kind of fit. You need 4 of those on a character, so you can get more top end speed for those. But that's all I'm doing with my 6E to DCA mats.
Yeah, it's interesting now. There's a lot of seems like the most desirable mods are speed, defense, and health. Offense also, but a lot of speed, defense, and health being farmed by a bunch of people these days. Let's go on to the next topic here, which is about your most desired specialty mod. Like, what is one mod that you keep looking for, or 10 of them, or 5 of them? There's somebody here that seems excited to talk about their mods. So let's go ahead and start with Ian. What do you look for there, buddy?
Dude, I want to start this off with saying I never actively have ever sought out the critical avoidance arrows. These were all ones I would say I have, let's see, I would say 5 or 6 of them that have hit really, really high for the CA. And I've never actively found these. I think the first 3 I got were just from, I think it was the Kira event, the Scoundrels, and the assault battles for Dooku and those separatists. I never actively searched for these. And I love the mod. I think it's one of the best arrows you can get, especially if it hits speed. There's so many different uses for it. I love it because you can look for ones that are really fast secondaries, and you can use them on like whoever you feel like you want. Like I use mine on Thrawn right now. I use them on my GL Luke sometimes. Or if you don't want a really fast one, you can go for a slower one and look for other stats like defense percent. And I have a new one I want to kind of slice here shortly that has like no speed at all, but it has super high defense percent, and it's a defense set, so it's like really good for a tank. I'm thinking L3. But man, yeah, I got super lucky with these CAs. It's kind of crazy. I even got a crit chance one that hit 22. But my favorite mod is by far the 28 speed CA arrow, and I got 25 now. I got 2 25 plus CA arrows. I don't know how.
Jesus.
I got no clue.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Yes.
those are my favorite mods. I already have those. I'm not sure if you want to go talk about like other ones I would like, but those are like my favorites. I would love just
You just
some
want more.
I want more. Yeah, it's like Kylo. More. I want more. But I don't know. I really want just really fast arrows in general, but more in particular the offense arrows. I would love some more of those. Those are like the ones I want a lot of. The
Yeah,
arrows with
that's
really
exactly what
speed
I'm looking
seconds.
for.
Yeah.
Offense arrows with like an offense set or a crit damage set in a perfect world. It's exactly what, with speed, obviously. To me, that's what I have no good ones of.
Yeah. Yeah, I love arrows,
Blade.
man.
Yeah, arrows are nice. What about you, Blade?
I'm similar in that it's really fast CA arrows are very nice because you tend to give the CA arrows to either for anti-counter or anti-countering. Like let's say you put the Rey CA arrow to make it harder for Vader, or if you're on the offense, giving a CA arrow to somebody like Thrawn helps you fight other counters, other teams, right? So I've been focusing on CA arrow ones and Vader mods. Basically, those are CD mods or CC offense. It basically depends on the set. Those are the ones I'd kill for more Vader mods with like way more CC or offense percent or even potency. Like those are mods I really want.
I'm really gonna have to check out your Vader as soon as we're done with this call.
Oh yeah, Vader. Oh, he's like the most fun character to mod.
I checked Blade's account back when like 63 had been out for a while, and I saw that Blade's like speed wasn't moving at all. And I was like, what is he doing? Go into like his account, and it's just like Vader 6A, 6A, 6A.
Yeah,
I'm just
Vader,
like, okay,
exactly.
this guy is.
I haven't really been focused too much on speed. I just find you don't really need too much speed for certain counters. I just rather find the perfect secondaries that you'll just win if you have the right turn order and you know what you're playing. You know what you're doing, basically.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right, maybe Sendow, you want to add in your opinion here? Chat seems to think you're the most popular person now. They're waiting for you to talk.
It's not my favorite mod, but I rolled a crit damage 27 speed offense arrow. So that was awesome.
Damn.
I love
that's
That doesn't
that's
exist.
one of my
That's a lie.
favorites.
I don't believe that.
Yeah,
It's fake.
I don't know.
Fake news.
It's on Jedi Knight Luke. But my favorite mods are defense in general, because I feel like on tanks it makes them like super tanks versus if you put health mods on them, they're just like thicker, but it's not the same. Like defense really stacks on tanks, and I like defense TA or defense health or defense protection mods, like that can get fast. And for me specifically, those mods are, I don't have fast of those mods, and I don't feel like the tanks need to be fast for those mods either that are going to be wearing those, but I'd like them to be fast. So like an ideal mod would be a very fast defense CA arrow. That's like what I'm looking for.
I see Clash getting quite aroused and leaning forward in excitement, talking about defense mods.
I didn't even notice.
I do appreciate that commentary. That's very, very good of you.
What about you, Clash? What are you looking for in your perfect mod?
Okay, well, can I say, like, I know everyone loves speed in general, right? I think it's always a good secondary to get. But I really do think that the game in the last year and a half, they've moved away from it being as critically important to just be the absolute blazing fastest you possibly can on every character. So I think we, at least I personally, I try to, like, manage more of the overall sort of stats on a character, hitting, at least decent speed. But it's almost more important to think about, turn order in your comps that you're putting together, and or sort of like Blade and you guys have mentioned, like maybe it's to counter specific counters. There's more tactics involved in modding now than I think it used to be. It's very, very black and white before. I think there's a lot more diversity in how you can mod things today. And I agree. I think crit avoidance is one that is great in terms of just the arrow in general. Offense arrow. I can list like 15 characters that basically don't even need speed in general, and you can really manage their modding completely different and independent of speed entirely. And so things like offense primaries on the cross or on the arrows, crit avoidance. Like I run a crit avoidance on my BB-8. People think that's a little bit weird because you think he wants to be one of the faster ones, and definitely I do. I have an actual speed set with a speed mod arrow, but that speed mod arrow has, I think, 15 speed on it and a crit avoidance, because I'm now looking at how I can stack on top of some of their mastery stats, right? He's a crit avoidance mastery, so where I can really compound some of the benefits of their mastery stats, I absolutely will. It's not always just about getting a speed primary on some of these faster characters. Sometimes there are other things that you can play with that will make it more difficult, especially when you're thinking about defenses that you set. And so for me, the real, like, I congrats Sendow on your crit damage high speed triangle. They don't exist for me. I feel like they're a myth. I've farmed for years and I never seem to get one of those damn things ever. So if I had like my perfect mod, it would be one of those, but like, I truly don't think they exist. And last point I'll make is that when you are thinking about, speed sets versus defense sets and other things like that, just a real quick, sort of your of the characters out there, right? If their speed isn't high enough to give you that, their base speed isn't high enough to give you at least, a 17 potentially or a 16 bonus speed on that set because their base is, below 170 or 160 even, it might not really matter. If you might actually have a better overall kit and set with something else that just has good speed secondaries and isn't a speed primary. So I really look to sort of only put the speed sets on characters that can really maximize them, and I look for maybe other sets that exploit other parts. Like I run my JKL very slow, so I really don't have any speed on him, but maybe others do. So it's just something to consider. That's how I think about those things.
Yeah, good stuff. It's interesting, actually, the comment you made about paying attention to the base speeds and putting speed sets with certain speed numbers on there because of the way it interacts with the base speed and the bonuses you get from it.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
That's
An
very
example
helpful.
is Mon Mothma, right? A lot of people run speed on her. Her base speed doesn't include that 60 she gets in her unique, so you're only adding like 10 or 12, whatever it is. It's really low.
Right.
So I think for her, I went health and other good stats along with speed where I could pick it up, like 104, I think is what I got on her. But yeah, just some of those things are something you got to pay attention to.
Yeah, definitely.
Do we know for sure what Gideon AI does first on defense yet? I saw someone said last night that it was Darksaber, and I was like so disappointed I didn't actually.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I
it's
think too.
Yeah.
That's sad.
I had an answer that was going to be based on hoping that he would work the way I thought it was going to work, but yeah. I was going to say I wanted like speed set, defense set, triple protection, primary, crit avoid arrow, with like ideally 25 plus on all secondaries, so you just go for like, and also like, like percent defense, percent protection. I just wanted like pure Stonewall, man, of like, if he was going to be the you have to kill me guy, I just wanted to lean like all the way into that, like grab the speed, and then just pure tank secondaries as much as you could get. He told me, yes, you did. I didn't want to believe, man. I was in denial. That armor shred's really gonna help a lot of matchups.
So what about you, Fatal? What's your perfect specialty mod? What are you looking for?
I actually, it wouldn't, like, the problem is this wouldn't like apply once Nest changes, but I actually really just want to pick up like one really good dedicated, like, it doesn't even have to be like a 5 speed roll, but like a 5 tenacity roll with some percent offense and like a slapping like some percent health and like 1 or 2 speed hits. I think that would just like make Nest almost like a set and forget against Padme in a way that like I still have to check potency right now, but if I could just snag like 1 or 2 high tier tenacity mods, that would like be some real freedom mind of just don't even have to check that anymore. Just like, all right, she's on that duty, we can move on. I'm not trying to suck up to Clash, I promise. It's just
no, please go on.
But I'm like, I still Nest Padme and GEC routinely, and she still fails sometimes. So, yeah, I would like to look. She's Relic 6, man. We got stuff to do. We'll get there someday.
Nice.
All right. Well, let's move on to our last topic here before we go to the Q&A. I noticed there is quite a few questions coming through here. Most of them aren't good for public consumption, though. Anyway. Which GAC team do you spend the most time modding, and what do you mod it for? How do you mod it? Like, is there one team that you spend half your time or whatever? I think Blade is obviously the Vader team.
Yeah, Vader, 100%.
Sendow, how about you? Maybe you want to start. What is your most time consuming team that you mod and why?
That's really hard to say. I spend actually a lot of time on all of the teams, even like the C tier teams, to make sure they're like at least like ideal for like the mods that I have. They may not be like perfect, but usually they like it's like set and then I don't change them. So like Drevin has the same mods as he had from that meta, and I try to keep him with that set. And for the most part, I try to keep my GLs and the GL supporting cast with the most like ideal mods. And right now it's like it's like the difference makers. Like is crew gonna make a difference with health versus the defense set? I don't know. Like he's probably not gonna hold up better or worse to a JKL counter. So I don't think that's I kind of like slapped on some older health mods on him and called it good. But right now I just got Ray and I'm about to get Ultimate, and I kind of have Ray and the bros set up, but I don't know like where the rest of my mods are gonna fall with, because I don't know like what kind of teams I would set with her. So it kind of comes down to like what's ideal. And I feel like I've remodded gas like 5 or 6 or 7 different times, just from CD set to offense to straight defense and protection. So he's been remodded so many times. But overall, I spent a lot of time modding my teams. I can't really pick one team other than GLs to revisit a lot to make sure they have the right mods.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that I do revisit my teams somewhat routinely, but primarily when I get a whole bunch of new mods that I reassign or I'm building a new team. But what I do pay attention to, just like you said, is the turn order. That is the most important thing for half of my teams. So when I move a mod, I make sure it doesn't shift in the turn order for the DR team or for bounty hunters or whatever. That's very important.
Yeah, like you want to make sure it goes Ray or Finn Poe.
Yeah, and they're 1 speed apart, if at all possible.
Right.
Yeah, the DR one's another one. I know Fatal's talked about it on his stream a few times, putting Malik 1 speed ahead of DR. And depending on who your opponent is, too, you can also make it a slow Malik and DR. So most Padme teams, if they use those against you, with the hope to take out 4 or 5 or something like that, you'll go slower than their Padme and really screw things up there too. There's a lot of like fun things you can do with turn order that make a big difference.
Yeah, for a long time, especially during the Draven meta, I had Malik running faster than Draven 1 speed, like you just said, and it really screws up a lot of counters. But your top end speed for Malik and Draven still need to be fast enough. If you bring him down all the way to 310, you're not really getting too much of a benefit from that. So they both need to be fast, and I couldn't support it anymore. So I just made Malik really slow and tanky.
Yeah, it's unfortunately like probably like I still think like extremely relevant and like extremely powerful, but you don't get to do it unless you've gotten lucky on high-end speed ceiling. It's like probably one of the most exclusive mod setups you could do in Galaxy Heroes. Like, oh yeah, just pull 2 max speed setups that are close to each other, and yeah, like everyone do this. 3v3 especially though, it farmed people, man. It probably got like I want to say like 9+ holds over the course of the season.
Yeah, I mean, and it's niche if like it's only if you're setting Draven on defense too. In some matchups, you want to not set that, just for like a change of pace or something, or maybe you want to set both GLs and DR, but like just keeping it fresh and switching up.
Yeah, definitely. How about you, Clash? What team do you spend a lot of time modding besides Scoundrels? Scoundrels isn't a team, by the way.
I mean, you took my answer. All right, well, crap. I'll get this. No, I'm just kidding. No, but so I mean, I like a lot of people. There are certain defensive teams that spend more time there than you do flipping them to offense, and for me, bounty hunters, Scoundrels, Mon Mothma are ones that I feel like if I just continue to refine and get their modding right, people can expect it if they want. But a lot of times, what I like about it is that they're more than anything, I think having the right character combinations in some of these things is more important than having the exact perfect modding. Because, for example, with Mon Mothma, that thing held like almost every single round last GAC, and it's mainly because people don't know what to do with K2 and Cassian. Like they don't see it very often. So even though I have them well modded and it took me a while to get there, sometimes it's just the novelty of what you're putting on defense that makes more difference. I actually, DR, Padme, Resistance, certain separatists, those are ones that I actually will move their mods around more because I'm going to use them on offense. And I'd rather, when I find a better combination with my defensive teams, will flip mods to my defensive teams, because you can make up a little bit of a mod disadvantage on offense just from being able to sort of exploit the AI. So for me, I think some of those sort of high-end B teams low A teams, bounty hunters, really good scoundrels, Mon Mothma, and then specifically characters like Queel and Chupio that do some really unique stat sharing. Those are ones that always are constantly making me revisit where I'm using them and how I'm exploiting the stat sharing that they're doing. So those are where I put a lot of my time and energy and focus. And on offense, for some of those teams that I know I can sort of just bulldoze through whatever the defenses are that I'm beating, whether it's Gas or JKR. You'll see I probably don't have as good of mods on them because I want my opponent to deal with really good modding on defense. And even if it's a B tier team, half the time they're still going to struggle with it because they just don't expect it to be that good.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a big part of it too, is what you use for hard counters versus what you're trying to force your opponent to use that may not be a hard counter based upon your other teams or the roster or something like that. So, Ian, any thoughts? Bladebacca?
Yeah, I think it's for me at least, it's usually like, oh, what do I have to remod for like TWs and stuff like that. But I think outside of that, I really just enjoy modding and remodding over and over again the Rebels. I really have a thing for Han Solo. I don't know why I like him so much. Same with like the new Chupio and 3PO. But you know, ever since Luke, the new Luke's come in the game, these guys are so good. And I mean, they can counter so many different teams, you know, and I feel like they're like a Padme. I feel like they're even better than Padme right now in the game, since like all the GLs are now a thing. They just can beat so many different things. You can mod them a lot of different ways. I like to mod them to make sure that my Chupio gets guard. And there's like a lot of different, especially if you don't have high relics on your CLS, you have to really go into the nitty gritty part of the mods and look for like just like really annoying mods. And I've been struggling with that. So I just went ahead and just got Relic 6 CLS. But before that, I really had a hard time remodding for getting guard. But besides the Rebels, I still like remodding my Padme team. I still have a Relic 3 GK and a Relic 3 Padme, which is kind of sad, even though I love Padme.
How do you do Fleet, man?
I do Fleet. I don't know. I use Malevolence and I use Rebels. But I don't know. I guess I've never really needed to use a Relic 7 GK. And that's like another reason. And going back to, the HP sets, I want more health so I can, get 60 mods for these characters like the Padme team. There's so many characters that can benefit from health-based mods and health sets. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, Padme's one. In like characters that have multi-faction tags like a 3PO, R2, or just plug and play characters, I like to remod a lot of those. Barris is one I just got recently. I put a lot of investment into her. Jedi 2, my GLs. One that I've been working on a lot recently is the Scoundrels, and I guess we're all kind of we're all kind of simping for Clash today. But you know what? I think I showed Clash this. I had a 20 out of 65 L3 before double drops happened for the anniversary, and now I got a 7-star L3, and I didn't spend any money for those shards. I just kind of kept on refreshing, and I got her now Relic 3. So I've been really focusing on her mods, like I just went back talking about before with my defense sets and whatnot. But bounty hunters, I got Mando up. I'm gonna get Grief up here soon, and I've been really focusing on those CD sets and stuff like that. Getting some more fast bounty hunters going, because I think with new Mando stuff, there's just so much fun stuff happening, man. I think it's really interesting to see what's going to happen. Of course, with Moff Gideon, like stuff like that, just speed sets all over the place. CD for me, a lot of different stuff I'm modding right now. I don't really have a set in stone team, but if I like my favorite team to remodel a lot, it's going to be probably Rebels. I think there's just like a lot of fun there for the Rebels. So that's kind of mine.
Wow, man, that
yeah,
emotional.
I'm just so proud.
I think. I know. I was gonna say you should be proud because my L3. It's been
it's
so.
Like watching you take your first steps. It's like.
So what's next? Should I go for Vandor? What's going on there?
Whoa!
You cannot. If he says the word Vandor, you run. You take your gear. You keep hoarding. Just say.
No, Vandor's life. He's awesome. Yes, Vandor, do it.
I'll go for Kara instead. I need a Mon Mothma tank. Because there's no way in hell I'm going to get K2 Relic 7. So
K2 is pretty sexy.
Man, K2. K2 is like.
But then you need Cassian as well because they're just so good together.
Absolutely. Yes.
But I'm
This
not
is the
gonna
way.
relic both of them, dude. That's not gonna happen.
Do you want a good Mon Mothma? That's up to you. I don't care.
I only
Sure.
have one Zeta on her still. It's I don't want to
Same.
talk about it.
What do you like? Why have her? Like, just throw her in the dumpster. Like, it doesn't matter if you're not gonna do it.
Dude, she was amazing in threes though. I beat so many teams with Chupio. Chupio's amazing with Mon Mothma, man. I love
Yeah,
it.
totally, absolutely. Go. Yes, Chupio, Mon Mothma, K2 Cassian, and HR Scout. If you don't have those 5 together, get out of here.
All right, I'm gonna go drop a few thousand and get my K2 and my Cassian up. 1 sec. 1 sec.
You don't have
bear
like
with me.
This is the way.
eyeballs in reserve.
No. I got like no eyeballs. The bounty hunters got all those.
All right. Sorry, I know you guys get through questions. I just wanted to take a moment to say, we're all thankful for your scoundrels, Ian.
Thank you. Relic 1 nest still. Let's go, baby.
Don't trigger clash. All right. In trying to keep on to our schedule here, we're doing pretty well. I think the best of any episode so far. Fatal, do you want to lead us through Q&A here, unless anybody else has something they want to add about modding?
I want to know what Fatal. What do you focus on for GAC?
GAC's been kind of low maintenance lately. It was just a pain getting all the mods back on everyone, but we're about to lead into this with the Q&A too. Imp Troopers, I'm going to be spending some time. Like, it's been a while since we had to like really do some speed clocking, and I'm going to be doing that with Imp Troopers now that they're kind of coming online. I'm going to be doing it with Bounty Hunters now that I can pretend I actually have Bounty Hunters for once. Yeah, it's going to get a little bit hard again. But, I mean, it's also going to be, I think, some stupidly fun teams to drive in GAC, so it's worth it.
We'll be looking for that write-up.
You know what? This isn't stuff that I came up with, right? Like Operation Metaverse had, like, this was, like, straight up the technique from an old Darth Rev encounter back in, like, way back before Malik was even out. But, like, I still think that TM math holds up and all that, so, yeah. Get that Bosk fast, get that Frenzy going, get the whole team going, Mandalorian with the TM train. It should be good. And, yeah, I think we can take this on into Q&A. And actually, if I can admit, this is actually kind of teeing up me and Blade a little bit here. We have a question that says, is the game just devolving into always chasing Galactic Legends? I have some feelings on this. I think Blade is with me as well, but I guess I'll leave it open to anyone if they want to jump in on this first. How do you guys feel about this whole seemingly every 6 months time to pony up for more Galactic Legends? I mean, it seems like, the focus is on Mandalorian now. We can only assume maybe that we're maybe 3 months out from yet another set of Galactic Legends, which, depending on where you're at, is, maybe a little bit too soon. But yeah, where are we on to that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna be like chase the GLs. Definitely a scoundrel GL coming next. I'm not sure what Clash
Might
thinks
be
about that.
Too
But,
early for that.
Yeah, I feel like it's just chase the GL, and here's all the things. And I don't know about you guys, but personally, I'm just running out of mats for the relics, and not the Cantina stuff, like the minor mats, and getting all of those farmed in, because I'm free to play, so I don't buy any of the mod packs or any of the relic packs, so I don't have any of the extra stuff laying around. I don't know.
Hang on, are you going all the way down? Are you scrolling all the way down to the bottom on those minor things? Because I thought I was running out of stuff too, and I realized they reorganized the whole damn thing, and I had a whole bunch of stuff floated down the bottom. They have like all your big stuff, and then they have a bunch of blanks, and then they have stuff at the bottom that's like I still have hundreds of them.
That's true. They did in the last patch. They did
Yes.
They reset the filter.
Okay. Well, if you are, all the people out there that are dumb like me, like that's something I learned this week, like an idiot.
How do you feel, Fatal, Blade, Ian?
Alright, so I wasn't sure on if Palpatine was worth it, and then I found out that Blade felt the same way, and he was already kind of working on this plan. I kind of just took it as an excuse to do it myself. Do you wanna explain this rabbit hole?
Well, ended up working on a MM team, Mon Mothma versus GG and potentially Ray, but I feel with Relic 8 coming soon,
I forgot about that. Oh
Get on
god,
What?
forgot that Relic 8 was coming
Rel-
with everything
Relic
else.
8's coming out,
Yeah,
hmm
and MM already comes close to timing out on Ray. That once Relic 8 comes out, I don't know. Depending on how big the bonuses are, that's probably not going to work at all. It's probably going to be even more important to chase these GL with this Relic 8 coming out.
Honestly, I think chasing GLs is not going to be viable unless you're a pretty large spender. And if you compare these last two GLs to Ray and Kylo, neither one of them do something that is not doable by other teams. So if they keep the same sort of balance, at least for the next year or two, within another 4 GLs or something like that, I don't think you need to chase the GLs. In GAC matchmaking, hopefully it's rare that you're meeting people with all the GLs and you have half of them or something, but usually it's pretty decent if you have, I don't know, 2 GLs and somebody has 3. There's plenty of other characters you can do in non 3v3s that'll allow you to compete.
As I mean, I'm going to speak on behalf of the rest of the Erodium advisory here, right? Someone with 7 million GP and 2 GLs, not 4 GLs. It is not rare that I come up against 4 GLs to my 2 GLs. And but you know what? That's why I live and breathe Erodium, and we like it because we play the game we want. We don't care about whatever GL extra stuff you got out there. We're gonna go after the ones we want. We're gonna ignore Kylo and his garbage kit, and probably SEE as well, and wait for our Jabba to come. It's there are other sort of mental ways you can go about this. I know I'm not Kyber Council, but speaking from the Erodium advisory, you absolutely do not have to chase GLs.
Yeah, I feel like
Well said.
There's like 4 GLs right now, and if top 80 GAC matchmaking is the way that you get matched, then at some point, like, your 4 GLs will go up against infinite GLs because there's only so many that you can top 80 go against, and then you're just gonna be clashed with 2 GLs against 8 or 10. But they need
Sure.
to just, like, adjust the amount of teams so that it's not top 80 anymore. You can be like top 100 or top more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, GAC not matchmaking, but the format definitely need to expand divisions and or teams. I think that'll help a lot for the GLs in particular.
I agree. I was going to say about like the whole GLs and whatnot. Like it's definitely worth going for them, but it gets to a point, at least for me, it has where I'm not really rushing to get because I have 3 of them. I'm not rushing to get the Emperor. If I'm gonna do anything, I wanna focus on the Mando content that we have at the hand. Coming more recently rather than waiting and waiting and waiting. Like this is gonna happen right now. I feel like with all this Mando stuff, so I'm gonna go for this. I'm gonna kind of hold off on these other really crappy requirements for Emperor. Although now we have Moff Gideon, I was thinking maybe it'd be time to kind of put a little bit more investment into the troopers because I love them. And I think they're going to do a lot of great things, especially Moff Gideon. So like, I kind of want to take a break right now, but I know there's like from GLs, but I know there's other people that they probably shouldn't, and you should kind of push for one. I still think Kylo's the best one to go for first, and he's got some really easy requirements, but definitely for me, at least my train of thought is kind of take it your own pace. I don't want to be like, I would never enjoy the game if I kept on just hammering at these really crappy requirements for characters with relics and never focusing on fun stuff. It was a huge sigh of relief to get L3 done because I wanted her done for so long and I finally got her. It's like, man, I kind of enjoyed that. I enjoy to get a fun character, a nice pre-taunt that's going to help me out. And same with my Barris. Like I wanted those 2 characters with relics for the longest of time. And now with Mando, I'm like really enjoying, just kind of taking it at my own pace, still focusing on what I want to focus on and just kind of going from there. And then, when I do have that stuff I want to get done, and I've been wanting to get done for a while, like the fun stuff, then I can go and work on the other stuff I don't want to work on and kind of give like a little bit of a give and take, I guess you could say, have some fun and then, don't have some fun with the farms if you can, think of it that way. So that's just my kind of thinking, I guess, for the GLs.
Yeah, it's It's definitely going to be an interesting time. And yeah, I will say, like, my Imp Troopers, I'm not even going to pretend my Imp Troopers are good, but even just, like, if you grab that Gear 13 Stark, and, like, I did Gear 13 Pyre as well, just because I like him as a character, it's fun, man. Like, even if the rest of your troopers are Gear 12, they'll get going. Like, this upcoming GAC should be so much fun, getting that team up and up running for the first time. Yeah, let's see. We have a little bit of a left turn, but do you all think that Phoenix is still the best opening team for new players? I've actually been having people ask this a lot. I don't have a good answer.
Me neither.
I have, look, I love Phoenix. I've got them all Zated. I've got them all Reliced. I think they're fun even in endgame. I don't know what the experience looks like on the front end because I don't have an alt and all that. So I don't know what the other options are even really anymore in terms of how easy it is to access them and all that. But I can say from just a masochistic point of view, having geared and leveled them and because they're a heavy investment. I like them. I think I use them all the time, especially in 5v5 to counter things like crew lead and bounty hunters and night sisters. So and Newt, yeah, absolutely. Newt's an easy one for them to get through typically. So I think they're worth it, but there's this like they're good for like right here until you get to like gear 8, and then it's really horrible until gear 13. And then you can finally use them again. So it's like if you can kind of push past the gag reflex, I think you're in good shape.
What about Geos though? Geos are pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I feel like Phoenix are probably good before you have the full Geos, right? And then Geos could take over an arena, and you can use Phoenix for Thrawn, right?
Geos will help with Padme too.
Yeah, and Geos certainly have like a longer shelf life in terms of how their kit works together, I believe.
Well, hang on just a minute.
Are amazing.
I mean,
their ships are amazing early on.
Phoenix ships are good.
I'm not saying Phoenix are bad. I also have all of my Phoenix Zeta and Relic and all of that.
Nice.
But I think,
Go.
I think in terms, and K2 and Cassian also, but I think in terms of what they can actually hit up to, I don't know if you guys remember when the Ray counters with Spy were going around right after Ray came out. There's a lot of crazy stuff that the Geos can do in certain setups. Yeah. But Phoenix are great. Nothing against Phoenix.
Thank you.
All right, let's tee up, I think, an extremely easy finishing question, just so we can dogpile on this person. Robert in chat says, who thinks we're getting Mandalorian content? Someone said they're not in any rush to gear or star IG-11 or Quill because they don't think they're going to be needed for something. Not even to say that CG has already told us that they're going to be needed, but how wrong is this guy? Let's set him straight real quick. Should he be worried about working on these characters if he wants to be caught up?
It's still better to hold. Just keep hoarding.
Hoarding is a good answer too.
There's no point in gearing right away, and then you find out, they're not needed at all. You should just keep hoarding until something is said, then you can gear them, pretty much.
That's always a good approach. Definitely.
But yes, CG has said they're going to be required.
Something was coming.
Something is coming, and we have 5 characters from the most recent TV show.
Is it 5 already?
Yeah, we got...
Wait, the 3, Grief, Kara, Mando, and then...
IG-11 Quill. There's your season
1.
Well,
I guess 6.
We got 6.
That's Moff Gideon, he's 6.
I don't think Gideon's going to be the first wave. I could be wrong. Fuck, I don't know. Yo, Gideon's gear, by the way, if you haven't looked at it yet, Gideon's gear is like, you could trip and fall. Yes.
It's really...
That's good.
You could like trip and fall and just like accidentally.
You're saying I should get him gear 11 right now. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
You think you could trip and fall into gear 11.
Yes.
You need like 100 droid collars, I think, and like 200, like 100 of each Kyber or something, and that's like it. No stun guns. I think it's like 100 to 150 carbs or something. It's so small compared to like IG-11 and Quill. It's nothing. It's I don't know
Maybe
if I'm
that
gonna gear
means
him yet.
something. Having a harder gear on those two means something for like some new thing coming out.
Straight up,
Then you have to. Yeah.
the 5 Mandalorian
know.
characters are like Galactic Legends level gearing almost.
Is it really? I've
Good
never
God.
noticed.
Yeah,
It
they're so
is. Don't
What's
like
that one piece of gear that they need so much of? It's the what is it called? Gosh, what is?
Mark IV comlinks. There's got
Yes, the comlinks, dude. I've needed so many of those. That's the
You
only
can't
thing
get
I'm
'em.
farming.
Our
They're
guild
hard to
chat
get.
is just nonstop comlink requests now. You just can't escape it.
Yep. Yep. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm like, wow, I need so many of these for Mando, for Grief. I'm like, oh wow, I'm already out. Cool. About to wail on some comlinks, baby.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. I think it's about time to wrap it up here. I guess before we close out, we had a couple of donations from Jake from State Farm. Really, really appreciate that, of course. Then Bill Bob must make an appearance. I don't know if we delivered that in time, but we'll keep it in mind for the future. And then we have Bill and Chi Huggies. So shout outs to Chi if he's around. I'm not sure. Whatever. It's fine.
Chewbacca. It's
Yes.
Chewbacca.
I'm sure. Listen, just don't go to outgoing SWH. Avoid that. Yeah.
Well, I'm in it. I
Wait.
added some good emotes.
Oh, really?
It's actually a good emote server now.
Emote servers.
I'm gonna take your word for it, and
You might be banned already, though. He's banned some people.
I never joined. I just saw a sketchy link and heard from other people about to join it. I was just like, all right, man. I'll take your word for it. All right, guys. Yeah, let's do some closing thoughts. If we want to go down from the top, shout out any stuff you have to shout out, or otherwise, yeah, let's start with Keen. What's up? Or Kin. I got that right once. We were close. We were so close.
Maybe episode 10 or something would be a regular thing. Yeah, the only other thing I do on YouTube is the Kyber show with Skeltrix once a week during GAC, where I make fun of all the other content create. No, really, I just pick apart their fights. Anyway, it's been an awesome episode. I'd like to thank everybody very much for agreeing to come out and talk about mods. It's been awesome.
You do
Thank
know
you,
the
Fatal.
You do know the dynamic you've established now, right? Where if you put out a Kyber show episode and people see their name on it, the assumption is just like, ah, shit. What did I do?
I don't know why these people still agree to come on the show with you then. It's confusing to me, but yeah, it's fun though. I appreciate that people are willing to let their stuff be picked apart. Hopefully
Yeah.
it's helpful to some people.
Absolutely. Always. Blade, good to have you. As I understand it, you have nothing to shout out
Thanks for
for now. We'll see. You have the content
Well,
creator tag in
the whole FC server and like the shout out Dragons of the Pit.
Yeah.
Hey.
Fair enough. Anywhere on Discord, generally. Shout him out on that channel. He'll be there.
Yeah.
Clash. We already
yeah.
know, but for the people in the room who might not, what you got?
Well, no, I mean, no. I wanted to shout out Blade for showing his face. I mean, I knew he was going to be handsome, but I didn't. I set my expectations a little lower than I should have, buddy. I think you should do this more often. I love it.
It's
Kinda
great to
hot.
see you, Blade.
Maybe
Yeah,
I'll stream.
man. Do it. Yeah, I'd sub to that.
The seal's been broken. He's not gonna do anything until Diablo 4 comes out, and then he'll be a streamer or some
Oh yeah,
staying on brand.
never see it again. Yeah.
All right, we got the young upstart channel. Ian, you want to shout out your stuff so that people
Yeah.
can find you?
Heck yeah. So I like these shows and I want to do more of them. If you want to find me, you can always just type in ItsJustIan. But yeah, thanks for hanging out and you guys are awesome today. I really like coming on the show, especially when we're talking about mods. I got all my buddies here from FC. I mean, it's awesome. So heck yeah.
This chat has been a trip, man. Been breaking me.
It has been. I see Deranged and I see Roby and Hernat just going at it, and even Ultra. Oh my gosh. Crazy.
Yeah. Sendow. Is it Sendow or Sendow?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Sendow. Good to have you, man. You got anything you want to shout out here, or?
No, I got nothing, but thanks for having me. I record all my GACs, but I don't do any editing or anything formal because I'm lazy and it's hard for me to get a face cam and all this stuff going on. So props to you guys that can do it and get it done. I can't carve out that time in my week.
Oh, the chat.
Definitely.
That was a stinger. I'm not gonna say it on stream. Whew. All right, guys. Yeah, let's get on out of here. Last second, thank you to Tommy Lewis for the $5, but then also, I see you in chat. That hurts. You're not wrong though. All right, guys. Thank you all for coming by. I guess myself personally, and if you're watching here already, you know where to find me. I'm gonna be doing a non-Galaxy Heroes Legends of Runeterra tournament in 2 days here. I got to top 400 Masters in North America, and that qualifies me for a tournament that I'm extremely, I don't know what I'm doing, but I get the chance to take on some really good people, and that should be cool. So yeah, we'll be streaming later today and see what's going on to get ready for tomorrow. And yeah, that'll be it for me. Peace out. Thanks, guys.